Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to episode 13 of my dream garage build. Two things to talk about in this video. First up, we're going to go back a couple of weeks to the delivery and setup of my gym equipment, and then we need to have a chat about the doors. And it's not good. We always knew that getting this in was going to be a bit of a challenge, but my running machine has arrived from Techno Gym.
Okay.
We've got 5 hefty guys lifting it in.
Up.
Look at that. One step at a time.
Again.
One step at a time.
Watch his head. Yeah.
It's only, I think
Yeah. Yeah.
Techno Gym stuff is designed to get you fit, but what I didn't realise was just how fit you need to be to get it in the house in the first place. Oh, the poshest bit of flat pack ever, and the most expensive bit of flat pack ever. What a thing. Well, that didn't take very long. It's up already. And this is the second bit of kit, a weight bench and a whole bunch of very heavy free weights that's going to basically turn me into some kind of Arnold Schwarzenegger by Christmas. That's the plan. Were you laughing then? Who laughed then? Was that you?
It was.
Was Piers laughing? Were you laughing
Yeah,
then?
you just had to walk up that.
Yeah. Well, it's safely in. So first bit of gym equipment is our new Techno Gym running machine. And the nice thing is you'll be able to run and look out of that view out the back. Massive shout out to Techno Gym and Bishopsgate. This isn't a paid promotion or anything, they've just been fantastic. We ordered this kit online and the customer service has been excellent and the delivery team were just outstanding. As you can imagine, it's heavy stuff. So this is a portable bench. You've got some elastic straps here to be able to do exercises. You've got a little gym mat rolled up there. You've got some more weights. You've got a set of lighter dumbbells just there. You can sit on this bench and do as a weight bench, and then I've also bought an extra, the heaviest set of dumbbells, so 12.5 kilos, 15 kilos, and the bad boys, 17.5 kilos. I need to work up to those though. So yes, first bit of gym kit in. Now, I've actually been away for a week on my holidays, but it's about time to start making the gym look a bit more like a gym. Now we've got the Techno Gym equipment in, what I really want to try and do now is put up my ab and dip frame, which is going to go over there, and then I might even bring my bike in as well. Now, first job is unpacking lots of very heavy metal bits like those that are going to form the structure of the frame. This is easily the best packed box ever. Now, in here is my chin-up accessory. I don't think I need that yet, but I've opened the boxes in the order that they're stacked up. So let's try and get everything out of this. And I'm also joined by, who's this? Das. My guard dog. You being the guard dog? You making sure no one's coming to get us? Yeah. I'll put a bed over there for you, look. You gonna get in your bed? Come over here, look. 14 and you're still acting like a loon, eh? Still acting like a loon. Oh wow. This is definitely made in Scotland from Garters. I don't know who they think's going to be doing chin-ups on this bad boy. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson by the looks of it. My days. Glad I've still got a skip outside for all of my rubbish. Oh. Part of the exercise benefits of this bit of equipment is clearly getting it out the box. Oh wow, it's a big bit. It's a really big bit. Oh my God. Good job we put a big heavy floor in this place, because this is massive. This is actually the first thing I've ever done on my new desk. It's been stained, so it's a lovely colour now. So yes, let's have a quick look. I'm hoping that this shouldn't be too difficult to put up. So this is the footprint of the bit of kit that we're putting together. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, but also I don't want to just sat on the wood flooring. So I bought some of these gym tiles. So I'm just going to put some gym tiles together that cover the area underneath. And then once I kind of know how many tiles, then I can start putting things together with nuts and bolts. But yeah, it's going to be quite big. So apparently these just stick together like a big jigsaw puzzle. Not dissimilar to the tiles that went down in the garage. And I reckon I probably only need that many wide. So this is commercial spec gym equipment. I'd looked at a few of these bits of kit. It's one of my favourite exercises to do in a gym. It's basically great for abs, dips, pull-ups, and I don't know if you ever listened to Peter Attia. He's one of my favourites. I love all the wellness and longevity stuff that he does. And one of the metrics that he describes, which is really, really important for longevity, is your ability to hang on your own body weight. And that's just a really good indicator of your overall fitness. And that's what we're going to be able to do with this, hopefully, because there's a big attachment goes on the top. I can do pull-ups and hang time from. So that's the idea anyway. Ta-da! Well, it's nearly up. The only thing we have to do now is I've taken the little blockers off the top here, and there's bits that slide in there and on the other side to do pull-ups. So they're the next bits that go in, and they are over here. And I didn't quite realise this when I bought it, but the clearance between the top of this and the roof there, fingers crossed. I have moved it that way a little bit, and it will slightly block the opening of the left-hand door, but the left-hand door is on a bolt and will probably not be opened that often anyway, and it can actually swing pretty much open, so it shouldn't be too much of a major issue. Leave this over here. Try not to damage the ceiling. Oh man, that is a bit of an issue. So this is the extra bit of weight training that I need to do now. Oh, should be all right with that in. Here we go. Move this across a bit. I don't know what the total weight of that is, but I'm quite impressed with myself. I could carry that. Right. So it's the next day. I've done another 2 or 3 hours of work up here, and the gym space is pretty much finished now how I want it. Let me show you around. So the ab and dip station is now all finished. That was finished yesterday. I've extended the tiles and put the Techno Gym station just here. So that's looking really cool. And then I've just lined up my kettlebells and my dumbbells. So that's going to be kind of a strength workout station there, ab and dips. And then I've got the treadmill just there. And I've also bought my bike across. So this is my turbo trainer setup with my old road bike, my Specialized Venge. Absolutely love this bike, but I've got a Wahoo Kicker smart trainer, and then this table here is to put my laptop on so I can have Zwift running on that. So that's there. Haven't used it yet. I can't set it up because the data isn't set up, but hopefully that will be sorted tomorrow. But yes, that is looking really cool. I can't wait to start working out. I've also got a gym mat so that this space just here is where we can do stretches and those types of things. But yeah, very smart. So super happy with the gym. And since I filmed those bits, we've used it a number of times, and having that on site at home is just fantastic. However, we need to have a chat about doors. And a big shout out, by the way, I'm still absolutely loving the lights and the flooring in here. It's quite echoey in here, but once we get a few things hanging on the walls and a car or two in here, it'll be fine. Let's chat doors, because there have been comments in a lot of the videos about the doors, and the questions right from the get-go about the width of the doors. And I thought we could have a chat about that and address them. First things first, the width on camera does look, they look much narrower than they really are because of the height, because originally the plan was to automate the doors. And the automation solution that we ended up with was a ceiling mounted one with basically a rail that ran along the ceiling with a bar that went to the top of each door and pushed the doors open. So we needed the top of the door to be as close to the ceiling height as possible for that to happen. That's why we ended up going that high. But the width is a challenge. So let's go outside and have a chat about the width. Here we are on the outside, and I think you can see they're taller than they are wide. But the decision process about the doors, we need to go back in time a good few months before we kind of closed the front of the barn up. We went through a number of different door options. The very first door option was going to be sectional doors that came up and down, but we weren't really, it's not that we weren't able to do those, but we would have had to go back through planning, and we decided that that's not the route we wanted to go. So then we decided we would have side hinged barn doors. And we started looking at a number of options for that. The first automation option for those was to have motors in the ground that pushed the doors open, but that was going to be a very expensive option, and we would have had custom made doors. And then we decided to get the doors made in a very similar way to my next door neighbour's doors. And this is kind of where the first decision we made that's led us to where we are happened, because the material these doors are made out of, it's called Enquires. It's basically a pressure and chemical treated softwood that's very, very durable but incredibly expensive. So we thought, well, if we kept the doors a standard width, then that would give us some options in terms of maybe going down the off-the-shelf route, even though they were a bit taller. So the standard width for a garage door is 7 foot, or 2 meters, 13 centimeters. And I thought, well, that'd be fine. That's ample. And I didn't give it a second thought. It's a standard width garage door. And we built the front up, and before the doors came on, I knew that there was a bit of an issue because, and you may well have seen the video, a couple of weeks ago I had a Taycan, and I pulled the Taycan into this garage bay to use the car charger. And before the doors went on, the Taycan only just fitted through the door gap. I had to fold the wing mirrors in, which wasn't good. And that made me start to panic. And then I thought, well, that's fine. I can still get cars in and out. Taycans are a particularly wide car. I'll be fine. And then we put the doors on. And the bit we hadn't calculated on was the thickness of the doors. So each of those doors is 2 inches thick. And that means that when they're open, we lose 4 inches of that opening. And what that means is it becomes really narrow. And I can still get a car in, I can still get my Porsche in, but I have to pull the wing mirrors in. And that's just not great at all. So here we are in a situation where the doors aren't wide enough. Well, sorry, the doors are wide enough, but I would like them to be wider. So what can be done? Well, the simple answer to what can be done is we're going to make them wider. What we should have done from the get-go is make them as wide as possible. But we didn't, and there's lots of reasons for it, and you go back and look at those decisions that we made and you think that's a wrong decision.
So what we're going to basically do as of this coming week is the doors are going to come off and we're going to make them wider. And what that will mean, if I just spin the camera around, is we're basically going to make each door about this wide again. So we're going to put an extra piece of timber on each door. We'll still hang them on these hinges. We're going to upgrade the hinges because the doors will be a little bit heavier. All of this shiplap will come off either side, and luckily either side is just stud work. It's not like it was brick or a steel structure, it's just wooden stud work, which should be able to be pulled back relatively easy. It sounds like a horrendously big job, but it's not. And we thought, well, we could leave them like that, but it would just be restrictive. And I know some of you are probably sitting there watching this video going, you idiot, Pete, how did you get to this point? And I honestly don't really know myself. And even the building team, we can't understand how we've made such a fundamental error. They are wide enough without the doors on, but as soon as you put the doors on, we've lost so much width. So let's go back inside and we'll talk about what has to happen on the inside. So we're going to take all the shiplapping off here, move the 2 posts out either side. We're going to be opening the gap up from the 2.1 meters it is now. We're going to basically put an extra ½ a meter on, pretty much. One of the nice features though on my lights is they've got a motion sensor, so I just walk in here and they turn on, which is very cool. So yeah, this plasterwork here, this will have to come off. This is the door frame that's basically the doors hanging on. That will be pushed out. We're gonna do the same width either side, and then we'll just put this plasterwork back on, replaster it, repaint it, change the skirtings, and that should be okay. And again, you can probably see maybe better here, each door, so that the door finishes just there, it's basically going to have an extra piece of timber on it about that width. So we're going to increase the gap by about that, maybe a little bit more than that. We're going to get them as wide as we can, but we can't take them too wide, otherwise the doors maybe become too heavy for the hinges. So that should, and we had the debate whether or not, I'm going to spin the camera around, whether or not we just do one door to keep the cost down, but actually if we're doing one we may as well do 2. The cost of this in terms of it, the main cost is going to be labour costs really. The materials, there's some new material for the doors which isn't inexpensive, but then it's the labour costs of basically ripping it all up and putting it back together again, which isn't great anyway. So yeah, what I might do is it's Sunday at the moment, the work starts tomorrow, I'm away for a couple of days, I'm back on Wednesday, and I'll show you what the progress is like on Wednesday, and then we might call this video a close, I think. Anyway, yeah. So for those of you who shouted out about the doors not being wide enough, you were right. 3 days have passed. The boys have been on it for 3 days, and yeah, I don't think at the moment I'm going to have any trouble getting cars in because they've taken the whole front off and widened it out completely, and all the shiplaps come off. They're just tidying up after a day's work so that they can start putting it all back together tomorrow. So as we can kind of see, this is all just stud work in here. None of this was structural, so it looks awful at the moment, but it is really purely aesthetic. So what they can start to do tomorrow is build in basically the door frame that the doors are going to hang on, and build it all round, and then they'll start putting the shiplap back on, although a lot of the shiplap that came off is so damaged we're going to have to basically replace it, which is really annoying but unfortunately necessary. And then the doors are just there. Now they are going to get painted, so you won't be able to see any of the adjustments, but we've basically gone big. We've gone really big. Was it 10 inches?
10 inches per door.
10 inches per door is what we've added. So that's going to make ingress and egress no problem whatsoever. And once it's all painted, you'll never really be able to tell that they were any different. It's just obviously, you know, I was stood outside here just earlier on in the video and it was all finished. The front was done and now the front is looking very sorry for itself. But tomorrow they'll start building up all the wooden frame, and hopefully it'll go back together quite quickly. The bit that will probably take a little bit more time is on the inside. We need to kind of do all the plastering and decorating and make it look lovely, and then paint the doors on the outside. But I don't really know what to say, to be honest. It's one of those things, it's not something that we had planned to do, clearly. In hindsight is a wonderful thing. We would have made the doors a little bit wider to start with. I just never thought it would be a problem. And then once I realised it was a problem, although I could live with the problem, I think long term it would have just done my head in, and I'd start to resent and regret not changing it. So while the building site is still here, while we haven't finished the front up, and while the boys were still available, we thought, let's just bite the bullet, get it done, and it will be better for it afterwards. Just in case, by the way, you might be thinking, my VersaFloor, we've just taken it up and moved it back, so that that's not being damaged. It's clearly going to get covered with dust, but I'll give that a good clean. Likewise, all of the walls in here, it's not ideal, I know, but we can just give it a really nice clean once everything is done. But yeah, that's it. So Max and Piers doing a sterling job. What's it like taking down your good work, mate?
My soul destroying.
Absolutely soul destroying.
Depressing.
And the other thing as well, I shouldn't laugh really, but it was made really, really well. And Max and Piers and the boys didn't make it to be taken down a few weeks after it was put up. So it was like trying to take down a fortress. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to finish that video here. And in the next video, I'm going to wait until the front doors are in and painted, and I'm going to do the grand reveal. Hopefully by then we'll have some paintings on the walls or some pictures on the walls. I'll have some bikes up. We'll have everything done. So in episode 14, you will see the finished thing. Put in the comments below how much of an idiot you think I am. I'm sure there will be many of those, but I wanted to, don't you laugh. He's not allowed to laugh at the client being an idiot and making stupid decisions. But yes, I hope you enjoyed that. Not the ending to this series of videos, I thought, but make sure you stay tuned into episode 14, because it's going to look awesome when it's finished. Just a last one. I know a lot of people said about leaving the wood natural. That was never the plan. The doors are going to be painted. They were going to be painted from the get-go, and the shiplap will be painted in the spring once it's settled. So that it will look completely different by the summer next year. So for now, I'm going to go in and have a cup of tea and a Valium probably. But if you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.